Imagine buying a car, parking it in your own driveway, turning the key, and it simply refuses to start. Not because the engine failed, not because the battery died, but because a piece of software running on a server somewhere you'll never visit decided you shouldn't drive today. That's not a scene from a dystopian film. That's what mechanics across the country are warning is baked into 2026 vehicles. And there are 10 specific reasons they're telling their most loyal customers to walk away from the dealership entirely. Number 1. Mandatory driver monitoring systems. Inside the cabin of a 2026 model, something watches you. Not a dash cam you bolted to the windshield, not a sensor you agreed to during setup, but a factory-fitted near-infrared camera embedded in the steering column, reading your blink rate, your head position, your gaze direction, every few milliseconds, feeding all of it into a system you didn't ask for and can't switch off. These systems are called Driver Monitoring Systems, DMS for short, and they're now mandated across new vehicle lines. What they see can influence what the car does. Drowsiness detected, speed reduced. Attention flagged, event logged, time-stamped, and sent upstream. You're not operating the car anymore. You're being evaluated by it. Number 2, your car can refuse to start. There's a moment every driver knows. The key turns, the starter catches, and the engine answers. That contract between hand and machine has held for over a century of combustion engineering. In 2026 vehicles, it's conditional. Several 2026 configurations carry what engineers call a passive start inhibit, a software gate wired into the ignition circuit that runs a checklist before allowing the engine to crank. The inhibit logic sits between the key signal and the starter motor, evaluated by the body control module, which talks to the driver monitoring system, the telematics unit, and in some architectures, an external server. The ignition isn't a switch anymore. It's a request, and requests can be denied. Number 3, false positives are inevitable. Every system built on sensor data produces errors. That's not a design flaw, it's a statistical certainty baked into how behavioral algorithms work. A drowsiness camera misreads a glance at the mirror. A telematics module flags an unusual pattern on a road it's never mapped. A server-side check times out because of network delay. In each case, the system registers a problem that doesn't exist, and the car responds as if it does. The behavioral models running these systems are trained on population-level data, calibrated for average blink rates and average head movements. Drivers outside those averages, people with certain medical conditions, people who wear glasses, people who simply drive differently, trigger false flags at higher rates. The system doesn't know you. It knows a model of you, and when that model's confidence interval dips below threshold, the car takes control away regardless of whether the threat is real. Number 4, no clear override system. Every piece of heavy machinery built before the software era carried a last resort. A manual release, a physical bypass, a valve you could turn by hand when every other system failed. That principle, the human always having a final option, isn't present in 2026 vehicle architecture. When a driver monitoring system flags a condition, there's no button sequence, no physical switch, no page in the owner's manual that says, if the system's wrong, do this. The override exists, but it lives inside manufacturer diagnostic software requiring dealer-level access and a paid subscription to operate. Independent mechanics call it a new class of repair impossibility. The car sits in their bay. The system governing it doesn't. Number 5, mechanics can't easily fix it. The independent garage has been the backbone of vehicle ownership for over a century. A skilled mechanic with a lift, a full set of tools, and deep knowledge of the machine could handle almost anything that rolled through the door. That relationship is being dismantled, not by complexity, but by permission. Mechanics have always adapted. Carburetors gave way to fuel injection, analog ignition gave way to digital engine management, and they followed every step. But the integrated DMS processor, the telematics control unit, the The software-defined ignition gate in 2026 vehicles all require OEM-level scan tools that aren't sold to independent shops. They're licensed, subscription-based, restricted to franchise dealerships. The car sits in the bay. The system governing it doesn't. Number 6. Software controls core functions. There was a time when the throttle was a cable. Pull the pedal, pull the cable, open the butterfly valve, and the engine answered your foot directly, with no interpreter between intention and combustion. That cable is gone now, replaced by a wire carrying a signal that software reads before anything mechanical moves. In 2026 vehicles, that software layer covers nearly every core function. Throttle, brakes, steering assist, transmission logic, all of it runs through a control hierarchy where driver input sits at the bottom. Safety systems sit above it, and in some configurations, remote commands sit above those. Your foot pressing the pedal isn't a command anymore. It's a suggestion the system weighs before deciding whether to honor it. Number 7. Cybersecurity risks are rising. Every system that can receive a command from outside the vehicle can receive a command from the wrong source. The telematics unit, the over-the-air update receiver, the DMS data uplink. Each one is a radio antenna pointed at a network, and every antenna is a door. Back in 2015, security researchers killed a Jeep Cherokee's engine and disabled its brakes from a laptop miles away. That was on hardware far less connected than what's shipping in 2026. A current vehicle can carry upward of 150 electronic control units, with cellular, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and vehicle-to-infrastructure channels all running simultaneously. Each channel is an entry point. The software governing your throttle, your brakes, your ignition sits on the other side of every single one. Number 8. Over-the-air lockouts. You park the car, go to bed, and sometime in the night a software update arrives over the cellular connection, installs itself without asking, and rewrites what your vehicle will and won't do. No warning light, no notification. The car sitting in the driveway the next morning looks identical, but it isn't. Tesla did this repeatedly, pushing OTA updates that trimmed battery range and altered autopilot behavior on vehicles owners had already paid for in full. In 2026, that same update pathway reaches ignition logic, throttle control, and driver monitoring. Legal scholars studying purchase agreements confirm manufacturers hold a perpetual license to keep modifying the software after the sale closes. You bought the car. You licensed the machine running it. Number 9. Privacy concerns explode. The 2026 vehicle doesn't just move you through space. It records you moving through it, collecting location data, speed history, braking patterns, driver monitoring footage, and behavioral flags, all feeding into a data architecture that belongs to the manufacturer, not you. Privacy policies for connected vehicles now run dozens of pages, and the collection scope covers nearly everything about how, when, and where you drive. That data gets shared with insurance companies, law enforcement, and data brokers. Mozilla's Privacy Not Included report ranked modern vehicles worse than smartphones for privacy. The DMS camera watching for drowsiness is, structurally, a camera running continuously inside your vehicle, and it answers to someone else entirely. Number 10. Expensive repairs and subscriptions. The real cost doesn't hit at the dealership. It hits 2 years later, when the DMS camera throws a fault code and the independent shop can't clear it without a manufacturer subscription. So the dealer quotes $400 for a software recalibration you can't refuse because the alternative is a car that won't pass inspection. BMW and GM already sell heated seats and performance modes as monthly subscriptions on hardware that's physically installed in the vehicle. In 2026, that model reaches safety-critical systems. A failed DMS camera that once cost $80 in parts now requires a calibrated replacement unit, a dealer recalibration procedure, and a software unlock before the car accepts the new hardware. None of this is a failure of engineering. It's engineering working exactly as designed, just not for you. Every system covered here, the camera reading your eyes, the software gate on your ignition, the update that arrives while you sleep. Each one moves authority away from the driver and toward an architecture you didn't build and can't touch. The mechanics warning people aren't scared of new technology. They're scared of a machine that doesn't belong to the person who bought it. They're the ones standing in the bay, staring at a car they can see but can't fix, waiting for the system to prove them right.